And now the starting line for the USN and welcome to
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Sperling Gymnasium for another year of Tiger basketball. What a joy it is for us to be with you. Tigers open against the Cougars of Goodpasture, and it'll be Ella McQuain, the sophomore, for USN to jump it up against Welford for Goodpasture. I'm very pleased to be joined tonight for his maiden voyage in the booth by the new sheriff of USN Broadcasting, Shai Rice. Shai, welcome to the booth.
How you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty great. I'm excited to be back here, watch some good basketball.
Ella taps it back to Brooke Burgess, and we are underway. Over to Sydney Neal. She gets the start. Drives to the right, puts up a floater. No good. Off the back iron. Rebound the other way to Welford. She pushes it. Over to Latham. She drives, kicks it out. Now in the corner to Parks. Working against McQuain. Ella tries to tie it up. She does.
Great quick stifling defense by the Tigers.
Alternate possession favors the Cougars. They will keep it. And it will be Floyd to throw it in for Goodpasture. Into the corner, wide open three-pointer for Parks is short. Ella has the rebound, looks to outlet, gets it to Leah. 1-on-4. She slows it down. Over to Brooke. Brooke to Sydney. Flashing through the lane is Leah. They can't get it to her. Sydney into the corner. Kendall has it. Looking for Ella in the post. Can't find her. Skips it along the baseline. Brooke drives. Puts up a left-hander. It is no good. Just rims out. Goodpasture with the rebound. Floyd coming the other way. Gets it to Welford up on the right side. Top of the circle. The Cougars settle it down. Cycle it around the perimeter. Kyle, the shooter, had a very impressive warm-up session, Shy. Back cut. Ooh, looked like it was there. Kyle was open. They couldn't find her. Driving now as Latham gets around McQuain. One-hander is good. And Goodpasture takes an early lead, 2-0. 6:45 and counting remaining in the first quarter.
We've seen a lot of Cougars offense so far, not much Tigers offense. Let's see if we can get it going on the offensive end.
Tigers had a couple of shots narrowly missed. We'll see if we can get them to fall. Another runner for Sydney as well, short. And the rebound is gathered in by Latham. Coming the other way is Goodpasture. Welford gets it down low. Open is Parks. Blocked by Sydney Neal.
Huge defensive play by Sydney Neal. She's going to have a lot of those this season. I can already feel it.
Great recovery. Saved a basket for sure. Score remains 2-0 in favor of Goodpasture. Back out to Latham. Latham over to Floyd. Kyle with a three-pointer, and they call an offensive foul. Moving screen somewhere. Foul's going to go against Parks.
Looked like it was just below the shot on the screen attempt on Neal.
So the Tigers take over. Leah throws it in to Brooke Burgess, the point guard. She advances into the front court. Driving left. They get it to Ella. Ella receives it, lays it up and in.
Those are the shots the Tigers are going to have to make.
Game is tied at 2. Goodpasture looking to answer on the other end. Floyd picks up the dribble, gets it over to Parks. Parks calls out the offense, looking to get a screen. Trying to post up as well, full. She's fouled by Brooke Burgess on the floor. Clock stops with 5:48 remaining in the opening quarter. Score is tied at 2. This looks like it's going to be a good one, Shai.
Very good, and it looks like it's going to be a game of making shots especially. The offenses seem to be flowing, but it's going to be all about if they can close on the shots. And
Russell with a spin dribble to the right. Shot was blocked by McQuain. Excuse me, Shai, I interrupted you.
I was just going to say it's going to be all about making shots. The offenses seem to be getting good looks, and right now it's just about whose shots are falling.
Outstanding backdoor play to Leah Payne. She couldn't get it down, but Ella put it back. She has 4 in the early going, and the Tigers have a 4-2 lead.
That is one advantage that the Tigers have. They do have the tallest player on the court right now, and they seem to be driving inside every chance they can get.
Parks just off the mark with a 3, and the Tigers now with the basketball and a 2-point lead as Kendall brings it the other way for USN. Working against Latham, picks up the dribble, trying to get McQuain in the post, can't do it. Sydney now has it outside the 3-point line. Gets it up top to Brooke. Coach McFall calls for the triangle offense. They got it to McQuain, turnaround, 8-footer, spins out, no good. Rebound to Parks. Goodpasture hustling the other way, over to Kyle in the corner. A little bit of an up fake, got Sydney in the air. Shot is short, Ella has the rebound. Kyle went to the floor, wanted a foul call, didn't get one. 18-footer from Sydney is short, rebound Brooke. Gets it to Leah, Tigers reset. Sydney from the elbow. She drives right. Her shot is just off. Leah fighting for the rebound, she has it. Gets it out to Brooke, over to Sydney. Down into the post, but Parks knocked it away. It's contested out of bounds, and they say Ella McQuain touched it last. Goodpasture has it back. The Cougars call for time, 30 seconds. With the score, USN 4, Goodpasture 2, approaching the halfway mark of the opening quarter.
So, Dr. Fitz, I really like what I see on the offensive end from the Tigers so far. Not a lot of their shots are falling, but they're getting great rebounding, great ball movement, and they're taking some close contested shots that hopefully are going to end up start falling soon.
Completely agree. Love the way they're crashing the boards. They've had some good looks from in close. Haven't quite gotten them to go down, but the law of averages, which is something that people always refer to, I don't know what that means, the law of averages, but people talk about it, and it seems to be in our favor later in the game.
I completely agree.
Cougar basketball, trailing by a pair, 4-2. Floyd calls out the offense as she advances into the front court, gets it over to Parks. Parks surveys the floor, back to Floyd. She puts it on the floor, now back to Parks. To Welfel in the corner, she's guarded by Brooke. Nice defense by the Tigers in a man-to-man. Into the corner to Parks. Ella comes out to try to cause some trouble, and she does, forces a turnover, and we've got a foul on Welfel. Nicely done there on the defensive end. Hurried the Cougars a little bit and forced the turnover.
One thing that does seem to be in the Cougars' favor is they've got a lot of fluid, positionless basketball going for them. Seems like any player can take the ball up the court or drive and post up.
Brooke Burgess the other way for USN. She tries to get into the lane. Instead gives it to sister Kendall. Ella McQuain with a skip pass. Sydney now has it, puts it on the floor, puts up another floater just off to the right, no good. The rebound is batted around, the Cougars have it. Little bounce pass into the lane to Corley. It was broken up by Brooke. Ella McQuain has it, and now it's to Kendall, and the Tigers slow it down. 3:08 and counting in the first quarter. Tigers clinging to a 2-point lead. They're looking to post Ella. Great entry pass, and the layup is no good. Ella trying to fight for it a little bit. Does well not to get a foul. Here come the Cougars the other way. Thinking about it as well, Phil decides to let it go. No good, short. Fighting for the rebound is Latham, but she was out of position, and she'll be called for the foul. Nice job by Leah Payne getting position there, forcing the foul call. It is the third on Goodpasture. 5 minutes and 14 seconds into the game.
The Tigers
with more than one for Goodpasture. Excuse me, Shai.
Oh, my apologies. The Tigers look to be working it inside with McQuaid. They seem to be setting a high ball screen at the top of the key and then trying to post it up. That does work to their advantage with the size they've gotten, but again, it's all about getting those shots to fall. And Brooke looks to take it herself.
They got her for traveling there. She made a nice move to split the defenders, but took one step too many. And the Cougars have it back as the clock runs with 2:23 left in the first quarter. Latham puts it on the floor, kicks it out. Over to Kyle. Kyle now to Welfel. She puts it on the floor, over to the right. Kicking it out is Latham. Putting it on the floor is Gregory. She kicks it out. Three-pointer on the way. Good. That's Kyle, the shooter. First three-pointer of the night. 6 minutes into the game gives Goodpasture their first lead at 5-4.
And from what I can say in warm-ups, if Kyle gets open, she is going to be knocking those down all day.
McQueen attempts to answer. Her shot is no good, but she is fouled and will shoot two. Foul is on Corley. Not all in attendance agreed with the call. But the game is now tied at 5 after Ella knocks down the first free throw. We got a timeout for USN, 30-second timeout. With the score knotted at 5.
So in terms of shooting, the Cougars seem like a team who are going to come in here and run up the score. But the shots just do not seem to be falling on both ends for either team. And the Tigers defense, while playing decently, doesn't seem to be contesting a lot of the shots from beyond the perimeter. And yet they don't seem to be falling until that late one by Kyle.
This does seem to have the makings of a game that's going to remain close for a time, but then somebody's going to make a quick 8 or 10 point run and separate from the opponent. And it remains to be seen who that will be.
I completely agree, and I love the shot attempts from the Tigers. I think they're going to start falling soon, but they've just got to make sure they can stay in it with the field goal percentage as is.
McQueen is 2 for 2 from the line, and the Tigers regain a 1-point advantage at 6-5. Putting it on the floor is Floyd. Kicks it out to Gregory. Gregory kicks it back out to Welfel as the Cougars attack and then continue to kick it back out. Three-pointer on the way from Gregory is good, and that's 2 in a row for
There's those shots I was talking about. That was even pretty good defense there, but if they get those shots in any separation, they're going to be shooting and knocking them down.
Cougars lead by 2 at 8-6. Clock running with 1:23 left in the opening quarter. Entry pass to McQueen is stolen by Corley.
That was great defense by the Cougars there.
Welfel dribbles toward the baseline. She's cut off. Floyd gets it around to Gregory. Gregory in the corner. Extra pass to Kyle. Her three-pointer is off the iron. No good.
Tigers got real lucky there, Dr. Fitz.
Kyle had a good look at it, but couldn't get it to go. Leah Payne has it as the Tigers look to answer. Bit of a mishandle, but she got it back. Ella looks to post. She's got it. Kicks it out to the opposite baseline. Long two-pointer on the way, and it is good for Kendall, and we've got a tie game once again at 8-8.
Great pass from Ella there. She's been shooting a lot, had some great looks, but way to find her teammate and get it for the easy basket.
Welfel took 20 steps, and the official eventually saw it. After the first 19, he was unsure, but the 20th made it clear, and the traveling violation was called. USN has it back with 39.8 remaining in the first. Let's see if the Tigers play for one shot or run the normal offense. It has not been the USN way in my 9 years at this school for them to hold the ball for one shot at the end of the quarter. But let's see if any of that changes with Coach McFall on the bench, Coach Jules being out of town at a conference. The Tigers not being too aggressive here. Perhaps they are content to play for one, but no. McQueen puts it up, and it's in. 2-point lead for the Tigers, 10 seconds and counting in the first quarter. Coming the other way is Latham. She gets it to Floyd. Floyd to Welfel. Gets it into the corner to Parks. Parks tries a three. It's no good. McQueen with a rebound with 2. And she's content to hold it, and the first quarter is over. The crowd is on their feet here in the Sperling Gymnasium. Coach McFall loves it.
I love it. Do you love it?
How can you not? This is a great first quarter for the Tigers. They lead it 10-8 after 8 minutes of basketball.
And that last possession especially, I completely agree with the holding it to the final shot there, but you got to take what is open. Wide open lane for McQuaid, and she knocks it down.
You can't pass up an open layup, and that's just what the Tigers had.
Exactly.
They lead by 2 points. And there are no indications yet that this is going to be anything less than a close one. USN basketball, to start the second quarter, they lead by 2 points. 10-8 the score. Sydney has it on the left side. She drives, cut off by 3 defenders, and she dragged the pivot foot, so it's a traveling violation. Cougars have it back, looking to tie the game or perhaps take the lead. 6 of their 8 points have come on 3-point shots. We'll see if that trend continues in the second quarter. They kick it out to Welfel. She puts it on the floor. McQueen comes over to help, and she does enough to force the miss. Tigers have the rebound. Here comes Brooke up the right side. Brings it back out, gets it over to Leah. Leah to Sydney. She looks to drive, puts up another floater off the back rim, gets her own rebound. She is fouled.
You know, with all due respect to Neil, I generally would say that the Tigers are better off when she's taking a shot, but some of her shot attempts have been a little bit shaky tonight. Glad to see her get to the foul line, maybe getting a rhythm here with some foul shots.
First free throw good. Tigers lead by 3. It is the second foul on Latham, and she reports to the bench. Checking back in is Kyle. The second free throw is off to the left, no good. Corey the rebound, looking to get it forward quickly. Tigers hustling back. 3-pointer on the way from Kyle. Good! And this game is tied again at 11. 7-11 remaining and counting in the first half. McQueen looking to post again. Goodpasture has her bracketed. Tigers go the other way. Sydney with another 10-footer just off the mark. No good. Rebound is loose. The Cougars have it. Sydney fighting for it. It's in the corner. It's out of bounds. The Tigers have it. So USN has the ball in a tied game, 11-11. Brooke turnaround three-pointer, no good. Didn't quite have herself set there, I think. Attacking as well for good defense there. Forced the miss. Ooh, and they called a foul.
That's a tough call
Brooke
there.
did a good job. Oh, and the foul's on Leah. Brooke did a good job forcing Welfel to adjust, but Leah came over from the help side and committed a foul.
Completely agree.
First free throw rolls in for Welfel. Goodpasture breaks the deadlock and has a 1-point lead, 12-11.
And one thing to the Tigers' advantage, again, the Goodpasture still does not seem to be finding their mark from the three-point line.
That's a big mistake for the Tigers. They give up the offensive rebound, put back in a foul, and it's 2 fouls in quick succession for Leah Payne. So Floyd goes to the line as Ona Moore checks in. Leah with 2 fouls. Goodpasture leading by 3, looking to make it 4. Single free throw coming for Floyd as she looks to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, and she does not. Welfel fights for the rebound, and we've got a foul, I believe. Who's the foul on? Foul is on Welfel, and so USN will have it. 6 fouls now on the Cougars. That means the next one will send the Tigers to the line for a 1-and-1. Tigers now working against a pressure defense. Brooke, an excellent ball handler, gets away from it. Up the left side over to Sydney. Sydney now drives to the right, puts up a one-hander, no good. Offensive rebound for the Tigers. Brooke tries a 3 off the back rim.
Gotta get that rebound.
Welfel has the rebound. Here's Welfel over to Floyd. Ooh. Tigers got a little bit of a break there. I'm not sure they were totally set on defense, but they forced a travel. We'd love to see the Tigers get it back to Ella McQueen shy. She had a huge first quarter.
I completely agree. And just a mental mistake there from the Tigers. And that's the thing that they've really got to clamp down on in this game is limiting the mental mistakes. You saw it in the first quarter. Not many mental mistakes, just a little bit of a shot making.
Oh, Sydney clobbered the shooter. Oh, dear. Kyle launched the 3, and Sydney launched herself into Kyle, which was frowned upon by the official. And Kyle will now shoot 3 free throws in an effort to extend the Cougar lead from its current 3 points.
And again, just another mistake by the Tigers. It's the reason the Cougars have retaken this lead. Both teams not having their best shooting nights, so it's going to come down to the fundamentals. Ball movement, rebounding. Tigers did a great job of that in the first quarter and not so much in the second quarter.
First 2 free throws from Koss spin out. The deficit for the Tigers remains 3, 14-11. Third free throw is good, and it's 15-11 in favor of the Cougars. Here comes Brooke, turns it over. Coming the other way is Kyle. Can she get the layup? No, but there's an offensive rebound. They kick it out to Gregory. Her three-pointer is well short. The rebound is loose. Moore fighting for it. She had position and she was fouled. So I believe she'll shoot. Fouls on Gregory, her first. Team 7th. Ona Moore to the line for 1-1.
You know, for a team that is a little more known for basketball than the Tigers, we don't seem to be outmatched in any way. And it's just the mistakes that have been killing us in the second quarter.
But we're right in this basketball game. Sydney is too late getting over. Committed another foul. That'll be her second. It just has that feeling, Shy, that we're in danger of letting this one get away. We can't let them get into the halftime break with something like a 10 or 12-point lead. If we can go in down by 4 or getting it even closer, that's what we need.
Definitely. The momentum is totally swinging the Cougars' way right now. USN not making many good plays, making quite a lot of bad ones, and the score is starting to show that.
Tigers have been outscored 9-1 here in the second quarter. It's 17-11 for the Cougars. More over to Ella. Ella kicks it back out. Sydney with a bit of a loose dribble, has it back. Tigers are struggling a little bit, having lost some of the flow that they had on offense in the first quarter. Ella traveled on the right sideline, and it's another turnover for the Tigers. Cougars have it back.
And the Tigers were doing so well with that high ball screen into the post in the first quarter. Just layup after layup after layup, or an open shot attempt on the other side.
And it looked like the basket, layup is good.
Ella almost got a hand on that one, but it went in anyway.
Timeout USN. This was an 11-11 game, 8 unanswered for the Cougars. And that is the difference in the scoring right now. 19-11 in favor of Goodpasture. 5:12 left as Coach McFall calmly instructs the huddle.
And overall in the quarter, Dr. Fitz, that's an 11-3 run, I believe.
Oh, 11-1.
My apologies, 11-1 run. And that's just definitely something you didn't want to see in the first half. We knew that this was going to be a run and gun game. We knew it was going to be high scoring. The defenses have been playing solid right now, but the Tigers making just too many mistakes on the offensive end have lost their flow from the first quarter. They need to regain that if they want any chance at getting back into this game.
Well, let's see what they picked up during that timeout. As Brooke brings it the other way, crosses over to the right, gets it to Sydney. She puts up a one-hander, no good. Rebound is loose. And we've got a foul on the Cougars, so I believe that's going to send Brooke Burgess to the line for one in the bonus. Fouls on Floyd. I believe that's, I thought it was her second, only her first. Brooke with the familiar high spin. And the first free throw is good. Tigers stop the bleeding a little bit. 19-12 is the score in favor of Goodpasture. If anything, that spin has gotten a little higher in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Brooks' free throw pregame, I guess you could say. Seems to concentrate on the basket and haven't seen her miss many.
Tigers get a stop as they look to reduce the deficit now from 6. Moore has it, looking for Brooke. Brooke over to Sydney. Sydney crosses over to the left. She puts up a one-hander and she's got it.
And that is going to do the Tigers a lot of good. Once Cindy finds her shooting stroke, it's going to be hard to stop her.
Just what the Tigers needed there. 19-15 to score as USN looks to get back in this game. Latham through the lane, threw it nearly out of bounds, but it was saved by Floyd. Parks has it top of the three-point line. She works against McLean. McLean fouled her.
And one of the things I think McLean can use to her advantage is that she's tall. She's got a lot of space to reach over and stuff a lot of different players. But she's got to use that to her advantage. She's got to be smart with it. That is only her first foul, but she's got to make sure that she's not hitting players over the top with the extra height that she has.
When Ella tries to block a shot, she tries to put it up into the band, the top of the bleachers. She's not looking to get a piece of it. She's looking to swat it out of bounds. 2 free throws are good for Goodpasture. Their lead is restored to 6 points, 21-15. Tigers break the press. Here comes Leah. Leah looking to attack the basket, and we've got an offensive foul. Not all fans are in agreement, particularly the student section didn't care for that one. But unfortunately, the student section has yet to get a call reversed from the official. Perhaps tonight will be the night. I know that they'll give their best effort, as they always do.
That's surprising, Dr. Fitz. 9 years, not one call reversed?
Not by the student section. Tigers fight for the rebound. They've got it. Leah Payne up the head to Brooke. Brooke looking to hustle. Sydney gets to the opposite baseline. There's the long pass. Sydney has it. Puts up another shot. Checked off the mark. No good. Brooke fighting for it. Can't get it. Parks with a rebound. Here comes Floyd the other way. Floyd into the corner to Kyle. A quick three on the way. Good.
There's that deadly shooting stroke by Kyle. Let's hope she's not starting to get hot.
That was a terribly quick release on that one, and she knocked it right down, and the lead is the biggest of the night for Goodpasture at 9 points. Leah has it. She puts it on the floor. Gets a little bit stuck. Sydney puts up a long shot. No good. Rebound to Kendall. She thinks about a long two. Thinks better of it. Dribbles it back out. 3 minutes and 5 seconds now left in the second quarter. Tigers trail by 9. Coach McFall calls out the offense. Leah has it, thinks about a three, puts it on the floor, working against Parks, puts up a running bank shot, no good. Rebound Wellful. Here come the Cougars. They get it over to Floyd. 2 minutes, 40 seconds now. Over to Parks. She's going to try that three, and she's got it.
Again,
the Tigers let her shoot, and she made them pay.
It seems as though every player on this Goodpasture team can knock down a three when needed. You cannot give any single player separation.
Tigers in danger here, now trailing by a dozen. The three-pointer is no good, but Brooke has the rebound. She puts up a layup. It hits the underside of the rim. No good. Long pass into the front court. Kyle tries again. Off to the right. No good. More of the rebound. Now it's to Sydney. Sydney surveys the floor. Crosses the mid-court stripe. It's it to Leah at the elbow. Leah puts it on the floor. Her shot is blocked by Parks, but a foul is called. So Leah will shoot 2 shots. And the first is short. So the score remains 27-15, 1 minute, 54 seconds left in the first half. Second free throw is no good as well, and Kendall was the last to touch it out of bounds. So the Cougars have it. 112 seconds remain in the first half.
And let's see if the Tigers can get some stuff going on the defensive end here. Great defense always leads to good offense.
Nearly had a steal there. That would have been a spark. Tigers need something here. Floyd gets around more. Sydney comes over to help. Nice defense. Steal! Can Brooke take it out of the way? She puts it up with the left hand. It's not good for the rebound, and the putback is good. And the Tigers have cut it to 10, 27-17.
And that's exactly what they were looking for. Just one defensive spark, And the Tigers are going to be playing with a little more fire, trying to get back in this game before halftime.
Floyd with a nice dribble penetration there. And Ella McQueen got her second foul. Tigers are going to have to keep an eye on that. She's been the main source of offense this evening for USN. Floyd's free throw is good. It's 28-17 in favor of Goodpasture. Floyd with the ball, left foot markedly behind the right. Free throw spins out, fighting for the ball is Corley, and we've got a jump ball. Sydney tied it up. Ultimate possession favoring Goodpasture. 1 minute, 12 seconds to play in the first half. Throwing it in is Kyle. Floyd has it now. Kyle looking to get it back. She does. The oldest play shy in all of basketball. Beware of the inbounds passer. Welfer with a ball fake got around Brooke and drew a foul from behind. That's the old Will Greenfield pump fake. Will Greenfield, the acknowledged master of the move. And the Goodpasture Cougars have studied him well, no doubt.
Goodpasture seems to be doing a great job of running a sort of elevator doors along the baseline, allowing their shooters to get open on the wings, where USN doesn't seem to be closing out as fast as their coach maybe would like them to. Coach McFall clearly upset on the sideline.
One of two free throws are good. It's 29-17. Here comes Brooke. Nice crossover dribble to the left. Can't get the layup to go. Kendall has it. Kicks it out. Over to Sydney. Sydney to Brooke in the corner. Brooke tries the three. No good. Long rebound. They're fighting for it. It's tied up. We've got a jump ball, and the Tigers will have it.
Now, if they can get it within 10 here at the half, if they can get it within 10, the Tigers have a fighting chance. This doesn't seem like a Tigers team that's going to be able to score a lot of points in a little amount of minutes. So if they can keep it close in the first half, go into the locker room, recuperate.
Sydney Neal with the basketball. Clock running with 35 seconds. She puts it on the floor. Spins right. Attacking now is Kendall. Over to Ella. Sydney has it again. Gets around a screen. Gets her own rebound. The shot is good.
Way to follow. Way to follow by Neal.
Tigers in huge need of a stop here with 15 seconds. They trail 29-19. The Cougars will hold for the last shot. Nice screen from Parks. Tigers switch it. Over to Parks. She tries a three with 5 seconds. Well short, and the ball goes out of bounds. No, it's saved. Now it goes out of bounds. But that's the end of the first half. So we're 16 minutes into the game. Your score as we go to the break. Goodpasture 29, USN 19. Shai, your final thoughts on the opening half?
Maybe not the way we wanted to come out here in the first half, but Tigers seem to be doing a good job of getting open opportunities. Had a little bit of a lull in the midway through the second quarter. Kept it within 10, and we'll see if they can come out in the second half, get a fiery start, and look to get back into this game.
Well, we'll certainly look for that. We're going to take a break for 10 minutes. We'll be back with the second half in 10 minutes' time. See you then. We're back here for the second half. Goodpasture will have the first possession of the third quarter, and they get it right down low to Wellful. She turns around and scores, and just like that, it's 31-29 in favor of the Cougars. Quick three-pointer on the way, rattles out. Brooke has the rebound, shot no good, and the rebound is secured by Parks, nearly taken away by Brooke. Jump ball is the call, and USN will have it. Tigers in desperate need of a basket here, trailing by 12.
To quote my good friend Booger McFarland, the Tigers are going to win this game if they score more points than the other team in the second half.
Well, it's going to be a lot more points at this juncture.
Completely agree.
Their deficit is a dozen. Parks looks to get around McQueen. McQueen defending with 2 fouls. Putting it on the floor now as well. She spins to the right, shot no good. Rebound, Kendall Burgess. She's had quite a few rebounds tonight. Played a nice first half and off to a good start in the second. Goodpasture in his own defense. Rebound Floyd. 1 minute gone, 15 to go in the second half. Driving to the basket is Latham. Her shot is no good. McQueen has it. Here's Brooke. She calls out the offense. The ball is knocked up in the air. Leah recovers. She puts it on the floor, gets to the baseline. Pass along the baseline. Now Sydney with an 18-footer just short. No good. It's kicked out of bounds. Oh, I think the official missed it. He might be overruled. But the overruling is overruled again.
I'm not sure about that call.
I thought it was definitely kicked out of bounds by Goodpasture. But they have it, and a 12-point lead. Parks gets it down low to Wellful, and she traveled. So it's a turnover for the Cougars. The Tigers have it back.
And I'm really loving the play from the Burgess sisters so far in this game. Both with some good shot selection, facilitating the offense, creating that flow that we've seen at times.
Tries to get down to McQueen. She can't secure it. And they've got a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring the Cougars this time.
You know, that rule's always bothered me. The blocked shot jump ball. Because the ball's still live milliseconds afterwards.
Shot is no good. McQueen with the rebound. Brooke has it, gets it to McQueen. Over to Sydney Neal. She drives to the right. Brooke tries a three. No good. Tigers can't get one down. Leah on the floor for the rebound. Her pass is stolen, and that's going to be a foul on McQueen. I thought it would be a travel.
Yeah, you know, the official had a bad angle there, and I can see how that looked like a reach-in from his view. Looked like McQuaid got all ball, but it is what it is.
She's got 3 fouls, 5:35 left in the third, so she's in peril of needing to sit for many minutes.
And that is not what the Tigers want here.
Indeed, they trail by 12. Parks with the ball, top of the circle. She drives left against McQueen. McQueen blocked the shot. No one looks more innocent after a blocked shot than Ella McQueen. Always pleading her case to the official that no contact was made. Here's Kyle driving to the right. Gets it to Latham. Latham kicks it out. Cougars working around the perimeter. Now Wellful drives. Puts up a floater from 8 feet, and it's good.
Great move there.
Nice little jump stop in the lane to stay away from the defenders. It's 33-19 Goodpasture. Sydney gets credit for a three-pointer there. Big shot for the Tigers.
Huge shot.
They'll need a few more of those if we're going to win this basketball game. Parks has it now, spinning left, working against McQueen. Blocked again, out of bounds. Ella McQueen coming alive on defense. Coach McFall calls for time, 30-second timeout. 33-22, in favor of Goodpasture.
And Coach McFall in these last couple of possessions has been screaming at her players, McQuaid especially, to keep their hands up. Can't get much more of these swatting fouls, these reach-ins on shots, shot block attempts that turn into hits on the arm. The officials are starting to call them more and more, and we've got a couple players in foul trouble because of it.
The last three-pointer by Sydney Neal has helped the Tigers and given the cheerleaders, for sure, a certain sense that there might be a momentum shift. You can sense their energy over under the Tigers' basket.
And if we don't come out with a win today, we do have a larger cheerleading squad than Goodpasture.
By quite a wide margin. Our man on the camera, Seth Ellis, giving us a good look at both sections. And the great Tiger cheerleaders getting the students into the action, as they always do. Cougar basketball, 33-22 is their advantage. Floyd has it. Over to Kyle, skip pass. Now Floyd with it again, top of the circle. Looks things over. Tigers now in his own defense. Welfel to Floyd. Back to Welfel. Kyle circles around the perimeter, gets it to the opposite wing. Kyle gets it back. Welfel now has it top of the circle. Goodpasture taking their time here. In no rush to force a shot, leading by 11 as we approach the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. Floyd has it back now. Gets around Brooke, kicks it out instead. Welfel puts it on the floor, gets to the elbow, puts up a jump shot, no good. Rebound is loose, gathered by Welfel. She turns around, no good. Another offensive rebound, blocked by McQuaid again.
Some great defensive movement on that possession by the Tigers.
I'm sure they would rather have that defensive rebound a little more quickly, but that was a great shot block by Ella McQuaid to keep the Cougars out of the scorebook on that possession. McQuaid now on the other end. She's blocked out of bounds by Welfel. It's saved. It's on the floor. They're trying to tie it up, and they do. The Tigers will keep it as they look to reduce their deficit to single digits.
And McQuaid with an almost easy look at the basket there, but a great defensive attempt by Welfel.
They get it to Ella. She shoots. She scores. Big basket there. It's 5 in a row for USN, 33-24. Can they get a huge stop on the defensive end? Momentum just now starting to swing their way. Latham has it, gets it to Welfel. Over to Floyd. Now Welfel has it at the foul line extended. Drops it off to Latham. It's a steal. Sydney has it stolen again. They get it to Welfel. She's looking to get to the basket. She picks up her dribble. Pass is stolen by Sydney. Sydney working 1-on-3. Lost the handle. It's out of bounds. And the Cougars have it.
Well, she's just got to turn it over, Dr. Fitz, so she can get another steal.
Padding the stats.
Some call it that.
2:43 left in the third. 9-point game. USN trails 33-24. Floyd walks it toward the front court. Brooke Burgess meets her at the half-court stripe. Into the corner. Parks with a three-pointer on the way. No good. Offensive rebound is gathered by Welfel. She drops it off. Gets it back. Puts it now on the floor. Sydney comes over to help. It's deflected away, but the Cougars keep it. Floyd now puts it on the floor. Gets around Leah. Pass is batted up in the air, but they keep it. Welfel now top of the circle. And the Cougars reset. They get it back to Floyd and reset the offense into motion. Over to Latham now. Floyd gets it back. Inside, 2 minutes in the third. Latham tries a three. No good. The Tigers can't gather the rebound. Parks has it. McFall quickly looks to the bench to get a rebounder in there. Another loose ball on the floor. The Tigers have this one. And there is a foul called. I'm not sure I saw one anywhere. Is it going to be on... I believe it's going to be on Welfel for Goodpasture. She doesn't like the call. And frankly, I don't either. I have to be fair.
Yep, completely agree. Seemed like a ticky-tack call there. Tigers clearly had possession. We're moving it up the floor. Just a meager defensive play.
It is the third on Wellful. Corley checks in.
And the Tigers doing some great things on defense, but just can't seem to get possession of that ball.
Too many offensive rebounds allowed for sure here in the third quarter.
And when they do, just some bad turnovers.
Inside a minute and a half now. Burgess over to Sydney. She gathers it. Gets it up to Leah. Gets it back. Puts up an 8-footer in the lane. Hurried it a little bit. Couldn't get it to go down. The ball is batted in bounds, but the player was out of bounds. Floyd tried to say they couldn't do it. Tigers have it back. 1:22 left in the third. This possession is a huge one for USN. A basket here could really scare the Cougars and get the Tigers right back into it. The pass to Payne is deflected away, and just like that, the Cougars have it back. Here's Floyd over to Latham. Latham gets to the elbow. Nice pass down low, and the shot is good. Corley scores, and it's 35-24 Goodpasture. Nearly a steal. Tigers have it. Here comes Kendall. Goodpasture recovers well on defense. Nearly another steal. Great hustle from Floyd. She deflected it out of bounds. The Tigers will keep it. Trailing by 11.
Both teams with quick movement on the defensive end.
Sydney for three. Too strong, no good. Rebound is gathered by Corley. Tries to step through, and she does. Here comes Floyd. Up to Kyle. Kyle working against Sydney. Floyd now has it. Back to Kyle. Into the corner to Parks. Parks drives the baseline. Kicks it back out to Floyd. Floyd has it. 30 seconds now left in the third quarter. Floyd gets it back, and the Cougars look content to hold for the last shot.
And a steal and a score would do the Tigers wonders here. Give them some momentum going into the break.
That would get the student section on their feet for sure. They already are on their feet, but they would stand a little taller. Shot from Parks with 3 seconds left is good.
And that was just too easy.
Tough way to end the third quarter for USN. Your score with 8 minutes remaining in regulation time. Goodpasture 37, USN 24. Shad, you give us a chance here in the fourth quarter.
You know, I give them a chance. Their defense is making plays, but they're just not getting possession of the ball. They're getting tips. Ball's going out of bounds, slipping through hands. Capitalizing at first on these poor pass attempts by the Cougars, but just can't seem to get the possession of the ball, and then when they do, haven't been able to turn it into points on the other end.
We certainly have to limit the Cougars to at most one shot per possession in the fourth quarter. And somebody's going to have to get hot shooting the basketball. Will it be Sydney Neal? Will it be Brooke Burgess? Those are probably our best two three-point shooters, and we're going to need a couple of those to reduce this deficit here in the fourth.
And the Tigers, to their credit, don't seem afraid to shoot, taking open attempts when they get them. Just got to knock them down, bottom line, if they want to come back in this game.
The final 8 minutes are now underway.
It's going to be a good one.
Floyd into the front court. They get it down to the post to Waffle. Turnaround bank shot, good.
And that was a beautiful play by the Cougars.
Very composed on offense, well organized. Crossover from Brooks. She gets into the lane, kicks it out to Kendall, but the pass didn't get there. Waffle took it away. Floyd with it again now for Goodpasture. Tigers trail by 15. They kick it out. Three-pointer from the corner is good. And just like that, it's a quick 5 points to start the fourth for Goodpasture. Just what the Tigers didn't need. Brooke looks to help the Tigers answer on the other end. Kendall over at the wing. Looks to get help from Leah. Dribbles around the screen. They're trying to post McQuain. There's the lob. Ella has it. Turnaround. Her shot is irrelevant because she traveled.
And that's the play the Tigers wanted there, just got to execute. It's been working all night. That shot attempt has been there 99% of the time, and just some missed layups, turnovers, tipped passes cost the Tigers here.
Three-pointer now on the way, no good. Long rebound to the Cougars. Another offensive rebound. Three-pointer now from Kyle, that is good.
Kyle, a deadly, deadly shooter.
Second chance points have hurt the Tigers big time tonight. Looking to answer is Brooks. She can't get the three-pointer to go. Here comes Waffle. The ball's off her foot. Cougars get it back. Going for a steal with Sydney. She doesn't get it. Waffle attacks the basket. Her shot rolls around and in. And it's a quick 10 unanswered points for Goodpasture to start the fourth quarter in under 2 minutes time, no less.
This is the start to the fourth we wanted to see from the Tigers. Just another mental mistake.
Entry pass is lobbed out of bounds. Ella couldn't get there. 5 minutes and 55 seconds remain, and the score is 47-24 as the Cougars call for time. Shad, what would you like to see here in the last 6 minutes of basketball?
Well, the score may indicate that this game is over, but I think the Tigers can still do a good job of running their offense, trying to find that flow that they seem to have in the first quarter. Working to make sure that their defense stays solid. Cougars are definitely going to be wasting a lot more time here in these last 6 minutes, so taking advantage of the offensive opportunities when they get them.
And man taking advantage of some opportunities right there. The great Cameron Wooten.
Exactly.
Good mess. Taking after his brother, the legendary Adam Wooten.
Legendary is right.
We all remember him well. I believe he's at Penn State right now.
Really?
No.
Your alma mater.
No, I wish that were true. I wish that were true.
Yeah. But Big Ten. I bet you're still proud.
That's right. Goodpasture has the ball. Let's see if the Tigers can put a few wins together on offense and defense. Get some stops, get some scores.
And from my limited basketball experience, Dr. Fitz, the biggest thing about this last 6 minutes of a not necessarily close ball game is execution. It's not about coming back, it's about playing your game, feeling comfortable in your offense, getting stops on defense.
That's right, just kind of learning
exactly
how to execute and winning one possession at a time, winning on offense, winning on defense.
As Tony Bennett says, win or learn.
Love it. 50-24 now the score after the three-pointer. Kendall Burgess answers on the other end. Love it. Love to see it. 50-27. Goodpasture out in front. Three-pointer on the way from Waffle. It is no good. The ball bounces into the corner, and it's out of bounds. Oh, excuse me, we've got a foul.
And
that was on Parks. Excuse me.
Oh, excuse me. That was a win from a learn. Brooke, quick to get that defensive rebound. Looks like she's getting tired of the Cougars taking up all the offensive board opportunities.
Let's see if the Tigers can string together a couple of possessions with a bucket. The ball is blocked by Welfel. She has it now, trying to get away from Leah Payne up the right sideline. Leah playing nice defense. Scoop left-hander is good. Nice take there by Welfel. And the Cougar lead is restored to 25. Sydney with a floater, no good. Ella with the rebound, put back, off balance, no good. Floyd launches it forward. Welfel has it flashing through his Parks. They can't get it to her, and the Cougars call for time. So we've got 4:19 left in the fourth. Goodpasture out in front, 52-27.
And again, just taking advantage of those opportunities. The Cougars are not taking their foot off the pedal. They're not being lackadaisical. They're shooting shots when they're open, playing solid defense. The Tigers have got to do a better job of playing their game, taking advantage of their opportunities. There's a lot to learn from this game, and they've just got to do a better job.
Jump, shake your booty chant going on over to the basket. I think Shaw got a little distracted when that began. He's only human. I also have to say, Shai, that I appreciate what you said just then, because so many people mispronounce the word lackadaisical. They say lackadaisical, and that's not a word.
Really?
I hear that all the time.
Wow.
Some combination of lax and lackadaisical.
Wow. I appreciate the slang, but here at USN we have good grammar.
It's not just slang. It's just not a word. Also, that's not grammar. It's just knowing what's a word and what's not a word. But that is a good thing to know. Floyd now driving to the left. Picks up the dribble. Floyd gets it back. Working against a 5 count. Gets away from Kendall. Tigers switch it on defense. Spinning it now as well. Ella comes over to help. They kick it out. And it looks like Goodpasture is going to try to take the air out of the basketball here. We're inside 4 minutes. The margin is 25. Driving is Floyd. She steps back. Gets it over to Wellful. 5 count is on. Putting it on the floor and losing it. I believe it's Gregory. She kicks it out. No, it was Corley, excuse me. She kicked it out to Gregory, who missed the 3. USN has it back. Clock running with 3:28 now. Sydney's pass is stolen. Floyd has it. Floyd working up the right sideline. Brooke cuts her off. That's a travel, yes. The feet shuffled.
And to both teams' credit, Dr. Fitz, I don't see many hands on hips. I don't see much jogging up and down the court. The fire is still in both of these teams, and executing's a whole different story, but you can tell that they both want it.
Ella McCoy layup no good. Leah Payne with the putback. She converts. You always just want to see great effort for 32 minutes, and look at the Tigers here. It's a steal and turnover. Sydney Neal shoots. She's gone.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about.
Can the miracle finish happen, Shy? The Tigers trail by 21. They call for time.
Well, we both have seen crazier. Maybe not in this gym, but...
What's the greatest comeback in sports that you've ever seen?
Greatest comeback. You know, the 20... I think it was 2014 NFC Championship game is one that comes to mind. A game that honestly had all of the keys of a great comeback. You've got offensive woes by the Seattle Seahawks that haven't turned into many points for the Green Bay Packers. Only 19, and all it took was for one team to get hot at the right time, took advantages of their opportunities down the stretch, and next thing you know, they're playing for a Super Bowl.
How'd that Super Bowl turn out? You remember?
You know, the memory's a little lost on me right now, but I'm sure the kids at home watching can go check online if they'd like.
Of course, you were not even born, but I remember being 12 or 11 years old, watching the Buffalo Bills come back from down 35-3 against the Houston Oilers.
And that is a game that lives in infamy in this state, with, of course, the Tennessee Titans being located here.
Goodpasture has it now in the front court. They're settling it down. Clock now showing 2:30. 52-31 is the score in favor of Goodpasture. Put Holding it on the floor is Park. She got around the defender and drew a foul. She'll shoot 2. Clock stopped now with 2:21 left. The foul is Leah Payne's 4th, but no reason to take her out with only 2:21 left in regulation time. The first free throw is good. The Tiger cheerleader section continues to grow.
No shortness of energy from them.
People just want to be part of that group. Ella McQueen scores.
Who doesn't?
Ruffle throws it forward. Latham has it. Back to Floyd. Floyd working against Brooke. Good defense. Trying to force a 5 count. 5 count is on, but Ella was out too far. And we've got a foul against her. It's only the 4th on USN, but I don't believe they're trying to stretch this game out. The white flag has more or less been waved as the Tigers trail by 21 with 1:50 left. 3-pointer from Ruffle on the way, no good. Long rebound into the corner, and we've got a foul call. I believe it's going to go against Goodpasture.
And while this game may be over, Coach McFall is probably the person in this gym that wants most for her Tigers to be fighting for all 32 minutes.
It'll be Leah to throw it into Brooke. Once things get sorted out now, there are 6 Cougars on the floor. One heads to the bench, another heads toward the bench, now back toward the floor. Seems all to be sorted out now. Here comes Brooke. Ella fakes a screen, then rolls to the basket. Pass was too hot, couldn't handle it. Here comes Latham, driving the lane, spinning back out. Gets it over to Kyle. Kyle to Corley. Going for a steal as Brooke can't get it. Gregory has it. Kendall goes for a steal. Ella goes for a steal, but the ball remains in the Cougar hands, although they struggle to control it. Latham has it clocked now under a minute. Sydney trying to get a steal of her own, can't get one. Kyle handling the ball nicely. And the Tiger faithful imploring the defenders to try to get a 5 count. But Goodpasture handling it well. We're down to a half minute now. Corley has it 40 feet from the basket. Gets around McQueen. Tries a scoop shot, no good, and she's fouled.
With Corley going to the line here, this looks to be the hammer nail coffin. This baby is over. It was a good effort from the Tigers. We knew this was going to be a high-scoring game, and it proved to be. A lot of energy in this building so far.
Tiger fans love seeing the girls play. They had a tough opponent tonight. There are definitely flashes of great basketball, and the Tigers are going to win a lot of games this year, no question about it.
Yep, the flashes, most important. Win or learn. Win or learn, you got to keep building.
Tigers give up an offensive rebound and then a second one, but both shots are no good. Leah has it, and she is fouled. So the Tigers' deficit is, again, 21. 15.8 seconds remain. And fan favorite Stella Shan checks into the game. She throws it in. And if this offensive play isn't designed for her, I'm going to be very disappointed. She's meandering toward the basket. Brooke launches a 3. No good. Can Stella get the rebound? No. 5 seconds now. Corley with the ball. Tigers going for a steal. The time expires. Your final score from the first game of tonight's varsity action. The Goodpasture Cougars 54, USN Tigers 33. Shai, your final thoughts on this one?
It's a tough one. That prediction of the game getting away from the Tigers started in the second quarter. Hopefully they can learn from this one and come away with some lessons, get back at it at practice, and win their next one.
We'll look forward to their next games. We're going to take a break before tonight's boys game. That'll start in about 15 minutes. Looking forward to being with you then. See you in 15.
This game is being played according to the rules of the TSSAA. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Everyone is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping the game at a high level of sportsmanship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starters. First, for the visiting Cougars. Number 0, PJ Smith. Number 3, Isaiah West. Number 11, Jacob Moore. Number 12, Cooper Pennington. And number 22, Cole Thompson. Goodpasture head coach Brian South, assistant coaches Justin Patton, Ross Welch. And now for USA!
Welcome back, everybody, to Sperling Gymnasium for tonight's boys game, featuring the beloved USN Tigers against the Cougars of Goodpasture. Tigers in the all-white uniforms with Columbia trim, Goodpasture in the gray, blue, and yellow trim. Dotson controls the opening tip for the Cougars, and we are underway. It's Smith into the front court, gets it over to Morrell. Now Smith has it back, gets it to West, working on the baseline against Adam Miller. Dotson from the foul line. Graham comes out to greet him. Turnaround. Pump fake. Graham doesn't go for it, and he is called for an early foul.
That's a tough early foul for Elliott. They're going to need him in this game.
Coach doesn't like the call, and it's going to be a shooting foul as well. So Dotson will shoot too. His first free throw is good. And the Cougars are the first to enter the scorebook. They lead 1-0. Make it 2. And the Cougars in a pressure defense. They've got Scretchen in the corner. He gets it to Adam Miller. Nicely done. Miller over to Russ. Russ with a three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound Dotson. Here comes Smith the other way. Working against Scretchen. Dribbles behind the back. Loses Scretchen. Long two-pointer on the way. Good. Really nice step back two-pointer there.
I've got a bad feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of that tonight.
Adam Miller has it at the foul line extended, working against West. Gets it over to Scretchen. He's got Smith on him. Graham tries a three. Bounces high off the rim and no good. West the rebound. He attacks the basket, drops it off. Morrell knocks down a three. And just like that, it's 7 quick points for the Cougars. They're in a 1-2-2 trap look. Tigers working against it and get it over the half-court stripe. Pass deflected and taken away. Here comes Smith. He pulls up another 18-footer. It is good.
And that's the thing with this Goodpasture team. USN's had 3 possessions, 2 good shots, and 1 turnover. And the Cougars are already up 9-0.
Bobby Lowe gets the start tonight, the crafty junior, number 4. Adam Miller with a three-pointer from the baseline, no good. Pennington the rebound. Gets it to Dotson. Back to Pennington. Pennington to West, West over to Smith. And the gym falls silent as the Cougars set up the offense. Trying to get a back cut, not there. Dotson from the elbow, no good. Tigers get a stop on defense. Scretchen dribbles behind his back, splits the defenders, attacks the basket, gets all the way, but the layup is too strong, no good. Dotson the rebound. Here's West now. Scretchen on him. Switches over to Smith. Pennington has it now over on the left side. And we've got a moving screen on Dotson, I believe. Yes, indeed. That's his first. And we're going to see the 1-2-2 look again. Tigers will have it on the sideline. Bobby Lowe to throw it in. Scretchen has it. Bobby tries to step out of the trap. He does. Scretchen advances into the front court down the middle. Russ has it now on the right wing. Over to Bobby. Now Adam Miller on the left side. Gets to the right side. Picks up the dribble. Gets it to Scretchen. Scretchen down the lane. Lays it up and in. Student section comes alive. They love it. 9-2 is the deficit. Three-pointer on the way from Morrell. He scores again. He's been outstanding in the early going. 2 3-pointers. Passing to the corner deflected. Bobby with an 18-footer from the baseline. That's good. Tigers now with a pressure look. Trailing by 8, 12-4. They break the press down the middle. Here's Pennington trying to get around Graham. Wild shot, no good. Dotson the rebound. Graham defending. Nicely done. Great stop for the defense.
Huge defensive play.
Scretchen working against Smith. Russ puts it on the floor. We've got a foul on Dotson. That's going to be his second.
Hard fall by Elliott there.
That's big.
And the Tigers fighting back in this game. Quick early run by Goodpasture. Probably settled the crowd a little bit, but the Tigers quick to regain momentum.
Dotson and Morrell to the bench. Tigers trail by 8 with the basketball. Miller has it. Over to Bobby Lowe. Back to Russ. Scretchen, long three-pointer on the way. Too strong, no good. Adam Miller fighting for the rebound. He saves it, but right to Pennington. It's a 3-on-2. Circling the baseline and kicking it out to Smith. This three-pointer is good. Tigers get into the front court quickly. Halfway mark now in the first quarter. 15-4 the score in favor of the Cougars. Graham fighting hard for position, and it's going to be a foul on Harris.
And so far, Dr. Fitz, the Cougars have not missed a three-point attempt. That's why this score is a little padded.
Graydon Frank reports to the bench, but not permitted to check in. Russ looking to throw it in, gets it to Bobby Lowe. Russ gets it back, flashing through the lane of Scretchen. They don't get it to him. Adam Miller to the elbow. High arcing shot, no good. Rebound West. West over to Pennington. He tries another three. Good. The Cougar hot streak continues. Their lead balloons to 14, 18-4. Here's Scretchen now. Up ahead to Russ. Russ looking for help. Gets it to Scretchen. Scretchen puts it on the floor. Bounce pass. Didn't get to Bobby Lowe. West attacks the basket. His shot is short, but he's fouled by Russ.
This game turning ugly early. And it's to the Tigers' defense. They've been playing solid defense. Been starting to get things going on the offensive floor. But just some lethal shooters on Goodpasture's team. And it's going to get you out of the game early.
West to the line for two. Henry Fitzgibbon and Graydon Frank take a knee at the scorer's table for USN. First free throw was no good, but it was not a 1-and-1, so there will be a second free throw.
And I love the fire from the student section and the cheerleaders right now. Clearly getting to the shooter.
That student section is jammed over there. Great attendance from the Tiger faithful tonight.
Makes me excited about the season.
Tigers get in their own way on the defensive rebound. Bobby and Henry fighting for it. Neither got it, and the Cougars have another possession. Pennington over to Woosley. Now Smith has it, drops it to Pennington. Over to West. West gets a high screen. Now goes left. Pennington to the elbow, launches a shot, no good. Graydon Frank skies for the rebound. The fans love it. Scretchen has it now. Working against Smith. Calling out the offense. Looking for a high screen. He's got a switch now. Scretchen steps back. And he's fouled. Harris doesn't care for the call. It'll be his second.
And that rebound by Frank there was relatively easy, but pretty huge. The last thing the Tigers want is to finally get a defensive stop and have the ball get thrown away, as they do just there.
I think Bobby was a little confused there. He thought that because he touched it, it would be a backcourt violation, but it would not have been.
Well, the ref on the sideline closest to us signaled for the tip, but he was overturned by the other official.
The ball went out of bounds. The Cougars had it. They lead 18-4, 2:38 now, remaining in the first quarter. Smith sets the offense into motion. Morrell has it, gets a screen. Over to Smith. Smith trying to get it down into the post. Welch working against Graydon, hooks his way around him. Fouled up by Bobby. Oh, what an outstanding defensive play there. Jump ball gives the ball back to USN. Big defensive play there. Tigers working against the 1-2-2 again. Scretchen has it now. Over to Bobby. Bobby driving left. Now back to the right. Gets it back to Scretchen. Josh drives to the left. Gets to the elbow. Kicks it out to Russ. Over to Josh once more. He tries to split the defenders. Thinks better, but circles back out. Scretchen with a wild dribble. Lost the handle. Over to Woosley. Into the corner now. Smith traveled. Shuffling his feet a little bit, and the Tigers have it back now. Coach Jones calls for time. It'll be a 30-second timeout. 1:43 left in the first quarter. The score remains 18-4.
Yeah, and it's a tough one early here, Dr. Fitz, but one thing I noticed early in the Tigers' scrimmages was that Petty almost has this silent ability to get open. He kind of sneaks through lanes, and his defenders almost look surprised when he gets the ball, as though they didn't even think he was there. So Tigers should be looking to get him the ball, create some offensive opportunities, some mismatches in the defense, and stick with their game plan. It's early, they're not out of it, but they've got to get back into this game.
Certainly from 14 points it can go to 20 very quickly, or it can come back to 8 just as quickly. It's all a matter of what happens in these next few minutes. Here's Scretchen now. Gets it over to Russ. Russ drills behind his back, lost it for a moment, tried to regather it. Wild scramble on the floor, and Russ touched the ball and the sideline at the same, or excuse me, the baseline at the same time. So he was out of bounds. And Goodpasture has it back with a 14-point lead. Here come the Cougars the other way. Morrell tries another three. Too strong, no good. Graydon tips the rebound, and Adam Miller secures it for USN.
And that's what you need there. Defensive rebounds, excuse me. These Cougars aren't missing a lot of shots, so you need to take advantage of it when they do.
Miller over to Scretchen. Pass is stolen. Here comes Carter, taken back away by Josh. Josh to the layup. Shot is good. What an outstanding finish by Josh Scretchen. Well contested by West. He was able to get it down. 18-6 now.
Lowe doing a great job defensively.
Getting to the foul line is West. Putting it on the floor is Woolsey. Kicks it out. Blocked by Gordon Frank. The ball is batted out of bounds. The Cougars keep it. But the fans love that one.
Right in front of him.
Smith to throw it in. Gets it to Carter. Gets it back. Let's see if they play for one. They cycle it around the perimeter. West has it now. He falls to the floor.
Oh, that.
Scramble on the floor. West has it. He wriggles through. Tries to get it to Carter. Carter gets it. It's blocked by Stretcher out of bounds. Cougars keep it with 7.4 left. Tigers really need to stop here. It would be devastating to give up a bucket here in the last 7.4 seconds.
Cougars clearly have a play drawn up. They need to watch the inbounder.
Lob to West. He's got it underneath. He scores and he's fouled.
It's the last thing you wanted there.
They let him catch it far too close. He was just 3 or 4 feet from the basket. Laid it in and Adam Miller fouled him.
And it looks like the student section seems to be getting some of the opposing fans some cheers back at them. As the Cougars are at the line.
Free throw's no good. Gordon has the rebound with 4. Here comes Josh. To half court, he's got to let it go. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the situation with the clock, unfortunately. Would have been a tough shot in any case. So we're through 8 minutes of basketball. Your score from USN, Goodpasture out in front, 20-6. Shai, what are your takeaways from the first quarter?
Well, it almost reminds me of the girls' game in a way, and I know the scoreboard doesn't entirely reflect that, but both teams are getting shot opportunities, and just one team's knocking them down. And the execution has been there on both sides. The Tigers getting a lot of good looks, not creating a lot of turnovers on offense, playing solid defense. Some players in early foul trouble, but for the most part, they seem to be playing a clean, solid game, and the Cougars are just capitalizing on every opportunity they have. And as I said last game, that's what it's about, capitalizing on opportunities. You need to take advantage of your opportunities.
There's a lot of good players over on that Goodpasture side, but USN has some as well. We can get back in this game, but we need a strong run to start this second quarter.
Defense creates offense. Let's see if they can get something going right here.
It'll be Pennington to throw it in for Goodpasture. He gets it over to West. West looks to the bench. Coach San calls out the offense. Morrell has it. Goodpasture tries to free up somebody on a back cut. Can't get it there. Step back. Long two from West is no good. Fighting for the rebound is Stretching. He tied it up. And it's a jump ball. USN has it back. Goodpasture in a press again. 1-2-2. Russ has it. Throws it in the corner to Graham. Graham finds Stretching. Josh gets it over to Bobby Lowe. Adam Miller looking to post up down there against Pennington. Now comes up to the high post. Russ has it over on the left wing. Looking for some help. Puts it on the floor. Back now to Stretching. Stretching drives. Floor from 10 feet. No good. Ooh. And we're going to get a travel. That looked dangerous there.
2 players fell to the court hard there. Looks like it was Morrell and Dotson.
Everybody's okay, thankfully.
And a warning for the opposing coach.
I think he just got too far out of the coach's box.
Yeah.
20-6 the score. Goodpasture in front. West throws it in. Adam Miller has it. Over to Josh. Bobby with a deep 3. Short, no good. Ball's kicked around, loose. Pennington has it. Tries to spin up the right sideline. He does. West puts it on the floor. High dribble. Shot is contested by Graham.
And that play was available because Pennington had a lethal move on the sideline coming up the court, spun his way out of a seemingly turnover-happy trap, and next thing you know, Cougars are going to the line again.
We did see him stymied over there, but he spun out quite quickly. And that set up the offense. Graham collects the second foul. One of 2 free throws are good. The lead swells to 15, 21-6. Miller launches a 3. No good, just off the mark. Loose ball, and we're going to get a foul on USN. It's on Josh Scretchen. That'll be his first.
And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that call, Dr. Fitz, but for the most part, I haven't seen too many egregious errors by the officials tonight.
No, and certainly we've all seen some high school basketball games that have not been as well officiated as we might have liked.
Totally. And if there's one thing I've learned about watching basketball, it's generally going to be a poorly ref game if you are rooting for one team over another.
I generally feel fairly confident tonight that none of the officials have bet on the game and no one is fixing it. And that's always a good sign.
Totally.
Shot is no good. Tigers get an offensive rebound. Russ's putback is no good. Ball's loose. Scretchen to the reverse. No good. Tigers in a mad scramble for the ball. Graydon to the knees. Trying to tie it up. He can't do it. Here comes West. Pass is deflected by Adam Miller. Scretchen to the floor. He's got it. Stolen back by West. He gets it to Dotson in the front court. He runs it up and in.
And just as I say that, a seemingly obvious travel there just missed.
Bobby's got to get out of the corner. He does. Working against Pennington. Crosses over to the left. Back to Adam now. Adam thinks about a three-pointer. Gets it down low to Graydon. Jump. Hook. No, it was a turnaround. Dotson the rebound. And there's a timeout. There was going to be a foul call, I think. But Coach Son quickly called for 30 seconds. Goodpasture's lead is 23-6. 5 minutes, 35 seconds left in the first half.
And it almost feels as though it should be closer. USN getting many opportunities at the rim, just haven't taken advantage of them. And both teams getting open shots and committing turnovers. You know, not the most sloppy of games and not the most clean of games, but generally both teams sticking to their game plans, and it's just the case of one team taking advantage of their opportunities over another.
We've certainly had some good looks at the basket, but they just haven't fallen for us thus far.
Yep.
If we stay patient, the lid will come off soon enough. We'll make a little run at this one.
Seems to be the script in both the girls and guys games. Good looks not falling.
Here comes Smith for Goodpasture. Advances right up the middle. Over to Morrell. Woosley has it. Smith from the elbow. Rattles out, no good. Graydon with another rebound. They try to tie him up, but it's a foul. Graydon working hard on both ends trying to get rebounds. He's done a nice job.
Very much so. Definitely looking to get more minutes this season. Tigers need some big man help, and he can provide it, and he's showing that tonight.
He plays with great intensity.
I agree.
And the fans love that.
He's almost one of those players where it doesn't seem as though he's running at his fastest or playing with a lot of fire, but you can see it. You can definitely see him fighting hard down there.
Tigers in serious need of a basket here. Adam Miller picks the ball off the floor, gets it out to Scretchen. He's wide open, tries a three. It's good.
That's a start.
Just what the Tigers needed. It's 23-9.
It's a great ball fake by Scretchen there to free himself up.
Yes, indeed it was. High screen from Dotson. Miller comes around him. Dotson is free. He lays it in. Nice little two-man game there from the Cougars. It's 25-9. Scretchen puts it on the floor. Gets to the paint. Kicks it out. Russ drives now. Back to Josh. Loose ball. Bobby has it. Adam Miller's free. The pass just does get to him. He spins left. His layup is wedged between the rim and the backboard.
And I've got to say,
excuse me.
That's the story of the Tigers tonight. That was a point-blank layup attempt off of a broken play almost, and it rims out and wedges in between the backboard and the rim. Just brutal for the Tigers looking to get back into this game.
Usually see that but once a year, very infrequently indeed.
Maybe we can get 2 tonight. Hopefully for Goodpasture.
From the foul line, Woosley is good. And it's 27-9. Cougars have the Tigers tripled up at the moment. Especially with a bounce pass to Graydon. It bounced off his feet, but there was a foul called. That is the 6th on Goodpasture. And it's Harris's 3rd.
And again, this seems like this game could almost be 27-19 with the way these two teams are playing. Just one team clearly knocking down a lot more of their shots than the other.
The Tigers are working hard. No question about the effort.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the bounces don't go your way. They haven't gone our way thus far tonight. Woosley deflects the pass out of bounds. The Tigers keep it. He'll be West to throw it in. He gets it to Josh. They come up to try to trap him. He steps through. And they call him for a carry. So that's a turnover. It was a nice move to try to step through the double team, but just carried that dribble a little too high. So here comes Smith. Over to West now. They're trying to get a back cut, not there. Westwood for 3, short. Tapped back by Smith, excuse me. And the 3-pointer for Woosley is good. Bobby Lowe into the front court. Special kicks it out. Miller for 3, no good. Rebound gathered by Pennington. He spins forward, over to Smith. Smith crosses over to the right. Great defense by Adam Miller. Get him all the way. Nice defense by Gordon as well. The rebound's loose. Dotson has it. He's fouled. The foul is on Bobby Lowe. His first. Team's 6th.
You know what bothers me, Dr. Fitz, and I've stressed this a lot, but each team seems evenly fit, evenly conditioned, evenly disciplined. And again, it's just a couple of ball bounces, and it's a 21-point game. Just a disappointing way for the game to go.
Let's see if the Tigers can get something going here in the final 3 minutes of the opening half. They trail 31-9. Bobby crosses over to the left, gets it into the corner. Russ looking for help, over to Josh. High screen from Graydon Frank. Josh passes it up. Graydon working from block to block. Bobby cuts through. He has the pass at the wing. Picks up his dribble, now needing help. He's swarmed by Smith. Gets it to Adam. Adam Miller now. Working against Woosley. Puts it on the floor, lost the handle a little bit, saved it now. Russ has it, over to Josh. Josh from the foul line extended, gets to the foul line, shoots from 15 feet, no good. Adam Miller skies for the rebound. Tigers have it. Here's Josh, he tries again from just in the lane. Floater is good.
Great for the Tigers to take advantage of that opportunity. Kind of caught Goodpasture sleeping on the rebound attempt and put it back in for 2.
It's a turnover as Woosley traveled. It's a 20-point game. USN behind 31-11.
So my only question, Dr. Fitz, is where is Graham Elliott?
Well, he's got the 2 fouls.
He does have 2 fouls, but in a game that seems like it could be decided in just a couple of plays, one run this way or one run that way, one of the Tigers' best players hasn't seen the court since early in the first quarter. And I understand the coach's decision.
That's a foul. Bobby Lowe was fouled many a time. Tip forward by Adam Miller, but right to Dotson. Cougars had it back. Smith now with the basketball. Gets it to Dotson. Nice play there. West curls around, lays it in.
West with another strong layup attempt.
Nice little half-court offense from the Cougars. It's 33-11. Here goes West to the baseline. Down to Gordon. 10-footer off to the left, no good. And he's going to collect a foul on the rebound. And that being a loose ball foul, I would believe it's one in the bonus. Yes, indeed.
Coach Jones visibly upset with that one.
It's the sort of thing that the officials are going to call whether it's a foul or not. If you sort of come in from out of position and try to contest a rebound too aggressively.
And they've been calling them both ways. They've gotten Goodpasture with a couple, and it's frustrating, but
the free throw is well short. Scretchen tries another three. Banks it in. I heard him call it. 33-14. Hopefully our mics picked it up. Nice little backdoor cut again. Tigers have been beaten now on a couple of consecutive possessions on those backdoor plays. Graydon came over and prevented the layup. But it'll be two shots for West.
you think I could jump that high, Dr. Fitz?
Pardon me?
You think I could jump that high?
I've seen you do it. I consider it my great pleasure and our team's great loss that you're not in uniform tonight. The first free throw is no good and the Tiger deficit remains 19. Second free throw also no good. Woolsey has the rebound. And it's going to be another foul. This one's on Adam Miller, his second. Two more free throws to the Cougars.
So I think now my only question is, Dr. Fitz, how many steps does it take?
Well, 3 seems not to be enough. Another free throw doesn't arrive past the front rim.
And the Tigers almost stumbling themselves into a good strategy with West being unable to knock down most of his free throws.
The Tigers have the rebound, and we've got a loose ball foul. I believe it's going to be on Dotson, but I'm not sure. No, excuse me, that's not correct. It's on Woolsey. So that being the 7th foul against the Cougars, Adam Miller will shoot a 1-and-1 on the other end. Score remains 33-14. Number 15. Henry checks in for Graham. Offense, defense switch to prevent him from getting a third foul in the waning seconds of the first half. Clock showing 33.6 seconds as Adam Miller's second free throw is good. So it's 5 in a row for USN. They would love to have a stop here to keep that little bit of momentum as they go into the halftime break. Dotson calling for it against Henry. Henry couldn't do anything against him. Nearly a steal in the backcourt. Here's Scretchen now with the clock at 12 seconds. Gives it to Bobby, gets it back. Clock now down to 8. Russ over to Henry. Back to Russ. Skip pass to Bobby with 2 seconds. He launches. It's off the mark, no good. And the first half comes harmlessly to a close. Your score through 16 minutes of play. Goodpasture 35, USN 16. Shai, take us into halftime.
Well, Dr. Pitts, I've said it 80 times and I'll say it again. Both teams seem to be getting opportunities and one team seems to be taking advantage of them. In a game that seemed like it could go either way from the start, the Goodpasture ran out to an early lead and haven't looked back since. And let's hope that Jones can give them some fire in the locker room and start the second half, maybe crawl back into this thing.
The Tigers play fast, and if they can take advantage of that and put a little run together, maybe we'll scare them a little bit and make a run in the second half. Will it be the Tigers' night to make the huge comeback? We'll find out in 9 minutes and 38 seconds. See you then. it in here in the second half, but we are short 3 officials. Here they come. Not a moment too soon. When the officials are late, they should be roundly booed by the entire audience.
Yep.
Not a single boo. That's just laziness on behalf of the student section in particular. Bobby throws it into Josh, and we are underway. Tigers restore their starting lineup to the floor. Bobby attacks the baseline. Wild shot, nearly went down. He drew the foul on Morrell, and will shoot 2. Good start to the first half, for the second half for USN. Free throw is too strong. Score remains 35-16. Three dribbles and a spin, the release. And the Tigers get first blood here in the second half, 35-17. The score. Goodpasture out in front. Pennington gets it back to Smith. Smith over to Morrell, into the corner to West. Posting up now is Dotson. Working on the block against Graham. Spins right. Graham cuts him off, back to the left. A foul is called. I didn't see that one, Shy.
I did not see that one either. Elliott had his hands up. Feet stayed on the ground. I don't know what to tell you.
Graham greatly bemused by the whole thing. I saw a bit of an eye roll, if I'm not mistaken. It is number 3 for number 33. The first free throw is justly no good. And the USN deficit remains 18, 35-17. Graham will remain in the game with the 3 fouls. The second free throw is good. 36-17 now. They get it to Russ. Russ dribbles across half court. Quickly to Adam. Adam looking to bounce pass it to Graham, but he traveled. Tigers turn it over. Here come the Cougars the other way. Smith looks to the bench, receives instructions from Coach Son, spins to the right, crosses over back to the left. Bobby there to help on defense. West has it. Smith gets it back. Drops it off, and there's a bit of a weave around the perimeter. Now Dotson is at the foul line. Back cut, not there. Dotson trying to get 4 on Graham. Can't do it. Kicks it out to Pennington. Pennington steps in, passes off to West. He dumps it. All's a crowd pleaser when a high school player dunks. 38-17. It's a 21-point lead for Goodpasture.
You know what? I'm not impressed.
Well, we saw your vertical leap earlier, Shy. Or we heard tell of it anyway. Adam Miller just off the mark, no good. Here come the Cougars quickly the other way. Smith with 3 from the baseline, short, no good, gets his own rebound. Attacks the baseline, stymied by Scretchen. He knocked it out of bounds, and Goodpasture will keep it.
Great follow by Smith on his own shot there.
Dotson has it outside the perimeter, gets it to West. West over to Smith. Smith over to Morrell. Gets it down to Dotson, working against Graham. Gets it back out. Smith another 3-pointer on the way. Too strong. Adam Miller has the rebound. Nicely done there by the Tiger defense. Here comes Scretchen. He attacks the lane. And I believe, I thought it might have been off his shin, but the official gives it back to USN. I'm not sure who it was off of. This is a tough call from up here. West to throw it in. Gets it to Adam. Adam to Josh. Josh drives down the lane, blocked out of bounds by Dotson. Tigers keep it.
And Scretchen getting a little bit of separation on his quick drive attempts, but Cougars have done a good job of stuffing it here in the second half.
He's outstanding with the ball in his hands. Really good ball handler. Great at attacking the basket. And an excellent defender. Pass never got to Bobby Lowe. It's a 3-on-1 the other way. There's a lob and an alley-oop dunk from West. Miller has it now. Attacks the basket. Shot no good, and there's an offensive foul. Momentum seems to be going the other way at the moment.
All I can say is, if anything, we got a show tonight.
anyone can throw down an alley-oop dunk with two hands.
Yeah.
I know that you would have gone with one yourself at most.
Well, thank you for the recognition. I do think it is a little weak for Goodpasture to be dunking as that would have been someone else. I do think it is a little weak for Goodpasture to be throwing up these lame dunk attempts as USN turns it over again.
Mike Jones calls for time. Good timeout by Coach Jones. A lot of momentum over here on the Cougar sideline.
I think the important thing is, excuse me, I think the important thing is for the Tigers here, you know, they've gotten dunked on. A little bit demoralizing to come out of the second half, seemingly with a good couple of first plays, and then for it to swing like that, but they're all on this court for a reason, you know. Tigers, what they seem to lack in ability, they seem to make up for in grit and grind, and as far as the score is to say, if USN plays their best game, they are not out of it. And that's not true for a lot of teams against Goodpasture, and I think that's what makes these Tigers special. So let's look to see if they can rebound at least a little bit, claw back into this game.
That's one of the things that makes the fast pace of play with which the Tigers play so dangerous, is that if they do get hot shooting and running, they can run up a bunch of points quite quickly. And that's precisely what they need to do as they trail by 25, 42-17, with 5:18 left in the third. Three-pointer on the way from Morrell, no good. Henry Fitzgibbon has the rebound. He looks to outlet, struggling to find somebody. He gets it now to Bobby Lowe. Over to Scretchen, and Josh will bring it into the front court. Setting up the offense as he stands on the Tiger pond near center court. Bobby gets it over to Russ. Russ is free from Pennington, gets it out to Graham. Graham tries a three. No good. Henry has the rebound. Can he put it back up and in? No, just off. Russ fighting for it now. The ball's tied up near the baseline. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow points the way of Goodpasture. Some substitutions now. The Tigers sink back into their defense. It's a zone defense look for USN. Pennington puts it on the floor, gets into the lane, and Scretchen commits a foul.
That's a tough foul to watch there. Scretchen had him in the air, didn't have to slap down on him. Pennington clearly wasn't expecting Scretchen to be up that high. Had to pull it back down for almost a travel maybe, but just a mental error there.
Pennington's first free throw is short, and the score remains 42-17 Cougars. Second free throw is good. Scretchen lobs it to Adam Miller. He's 30 feet from the basket, gets over to Josh, down low to Graham. Graham kicks it out to Russ, looks to repost. They can't find him. Fighting hard down at the low block, working against Woosley. Here's Russ. Russ drives, kicks it out to Graham. Back to Josh. Josh working against a new defender on the floor. It's back to Harris, who has 3 fouls. Graham has it on the block. Spins right, puts it up, and there's a foul on the floor.
And you know, Dr. Fitz, these two teams remind me a lot of the 1996 NBA Finals series back in my college days between the Chicago Bulls and the Seattle Supersonics. You got a Goodpasture team with a lot of flow, a la Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Some great shooters, and then on the other side you've got a fiery point guard, some big men who can run the floor. And the Tigers' problem here just seems to be wing shooting, getting some good opportunities, but just not knocking them down.
Three-pointer for West is good. 46-19 now. Goodpasture out in front. Miller from the foul line. Well off the mark. Scratching the rebound, had it taken away on the way up. And we've got a foul. Who would you say we're the Chicago Bulls in this analogy? Is this what you were saying?
Yes. No, we are the Seattle Supersonics in this analogy.
I see.
Just looking at Goodpasture's team, they've got a lot of great shooters. Guys you can hit it with men in their face or men not in their face, and we seem to be a tough, grinding team. Can run the floor, but our offense is just not firing on all cylinders tonight, and Goodpasture's is.
Which of the USN Tigers would you say is the analog of Gary Payton in this analogy?
Well, I'd be inclined to say Scretchen with his fire and fierceness, fast ability, but honestly, Wes Petty, very, very great on-ball and off-ball defender, maybe the best on this team. He's a little bit more humble than Gary was, but he's got a lot of great offensive moves in his arsenal, but his best play comes on the defensive end.
Great hustle by Graham as he puts the offensive rebound back. Do you remember Gary Payton's nickname?
The Glove.
The Glove.
How could I forget?
Correct. And what was Sean Kemp's nickname?
Big ol' Rain Man.
I never heard that nickname. That was a shooter. It was the Rain Man, I think. Sean Kemp was the man-child.
Oh.
I think Dale Ellis was the Rain Man. I'm not sure. Many viewers, someone who knows more than I know will comment and give us the correction that we need.
I think I can say pretty confidently it was the Rain Man. But one more thing I can say, Bulls won that series.
In how many games?
6 games.
6 games, correct. Very good.
It was 3-0 for the Supersonics fought back to make it 3-2. So maybe we see sort of similar fight back in this game from the USN Tigers.
You have a strikingly good memory of your college days, I have to say.
Thank you. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
How true that is. Graham working down low, spins just off the mark, no good. 49-23 is the score. Goodpasture with the basketball. A minute and a half left in the third quarter. Oh, Scretchen fouled him from behind for sure.
A good acting attempt by Scretchen, but there's a reason we have a theater program at this school and a basketball program, and they are separate.
Well said. Morrell has it off the inbounds pass, gets it to Woosley. Drops it off to Smith. Clock running with 1:11. Pass is deflected. Dotson snares it. Gets it over to Morrell on the other side, and he knocks a three-pointer down. Goodpasture lead now at 29. Miller's fouled from behind.
And that's got to be 4th on Morrell or close to it.
.8 now remaining in the third. Mike Jones calls a full timeout. With the score, Goodpasture 52, USN 23. Tigers getting dangerously close to having to play against a running clock in the fourth quarter. If the margin swells to 35, that'll be the case.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get there, Dr. Pitts.
Let's hope.
I think there's still a lot of fight left in these Tigers. Looks bleak, but these players want it. They feel a little bit embarrassed. They're going to come out fighting. Let's see how well they can do out of the break.
Coach Jones calmly instructs the Tigers over in the huddle, drawing up a play on the little marker board. The Cougars return to the floor.
And while we have the time quickly, Dr. Fitz, who would you say wins the hairstyle competition between the two head coaches? You've got the chicness of Jones is bald, and I'm not sure of the other coach's name, but
that's Coach Son. Coach Son, interestingly, is Coach Jones' predecessor here at USN.
Really?
That's correct.
I did not know that.
In my first year at USN, he was the basketball coach here, and after that year, he resigned. He couldn't work with me any longer, so he resigned and went to Goodpasture.
Got it.
And Coach Jones took over at that time.
An interesting piece of USN history.
And that year, USN played for the state championship. We were state runner-up in my first year here. That was
exciting.
2012, 11-12 season.
Some great players on that team, I'm sure.
One of them is Coach Son's assistant, Ross Welch, over on the bench, as Adam Miller knocks down a three. Waning seconds here in the third quarter. We're down to 15. Tigers trail 52-26. Now down to 8 seconds. Scratching defending aggressively. They try a little co-play again. It's taken away by Adam Miller with 2 seconds. He gets a shot up. It's well off to the left. The cheerleaders scatter in horror, but none of them is harmed. We're through 24 of the requisite 32 minutes. Your score, Goodpasture 52, USN 26. Let's see what the cheerleaders have for us here. We're underway here in the fourth quarter. Tigers trail by 2 Baker's dozens. And it's a quick offensive foul for Adam Miller. Goodpasture gets it back. Leading by 26.
So they scored 26 points in 3 quarters. Let's see if they can do it in 1.
It also would be very helpful if we can hold them to 0.
Probably a minor tidbit of that comeback.
That's almost certain. The key will be scoring the 26.
Yep.
Holding them to 0, I don't see any way anything else happens. Smith to throw it in. West launches a 3. It's good.
An almost miraculous 3-point attempt by Goodpasture.
Well, these random incidents occur from time to time. One has to account for them. Here's Scretchen. Working against Smith. Poked away from behind out of bounds. It is Tiger basketball. The official nearly made the wrong signal, but he corrected himself just in the nick of time.
We're in danger of Goodpasture scoring more than 3.
Scretchen has it now over to Bobby. Now Adam Miller has it. Dotson's hand in his face. Scretchen puts it on the floor, gets around Dotson, drops it off to Adam Miller. Adam from the elbow is short. Rebound West. Here he comes the other way. Bobby hustling up from behind. They get it to the baseline to Dotson. He tries a 15-footer. It's short. Smith the rebound. Bobby tries to tie him up. And they're going to get a foul. It is on Bobby Lowe. 1-and-1 coming up. And Adrian Samuels checks in for USN. He'll see his first action of the evening as Josh heads to the bench to an ovation from the Tiger faithful. Josh has played a fine game tonight. The first free throw of the 1-and-1 is good. He'll have another. It's now a 30-point game, 56-26. The second free throw is likewise good. 57-26 now the score. Adam down to Graham. Graham has it back to Adam. Adam tries the three from the corner. Rattles out, no good. Bobby contests the rebound. Nicely done. It's out of bounds to the Tiger cheerleaders. And therefore the Tigers keep it. I think that's a rule of some sort. I'm not well versed in the rules of basketball. I've never been accused of that. Here's Bobby working against a 5 count. Ball's loose on the floor. Coming along with his Pennington. Adrian sprinting back to try to break up the layup. He fouled him, and the layup is good nonetheless.
A weak call by the official on that one.
I think he got a little face there on the layup. It was close.
Of course, my viewpoint was much better than the officials, so.
You don't want to be too close to the action. It can make things less clear.
Agree. It's almost as if what's actually happening is not what should be called.
To the untrained eye, that's how it would seem. Goodpasture converts the three-point play. It is 60-26 now as we approach the 6-minute mark left in regulation time. Russ has it on the USN Tiger. Bobby Lowe tries a three, short. Rebound to Woosley. Gets it down low to Carter. He throws up a wild shot. No good. Bobby Lowe has the rebound. He tries to split a double team. He does. Gets it forward to Russ. Russ attacks the baseline. Bounce pass to Graham. Gets his man in the air. One dribble. Turnaround. One-hander. No good. Rebound Carter. Quick outlet to Woosley. It's a 2-on-3. He attacks it anyway, and he's fouled.
Well, Dr. Fitz, if you flip around the digits for the home score, we've got a great game on our hands.
Each team being permitted to flip the digits of their score once per game. Now it seems like it would be a great time to do it for the Tigers.
Unsure of why we did not decide to do that at 59, but that's just me. Or excuse me, Goodpasture did not decide to do that at 59.
Well, if we can hit a quick three here, we'll get it to 29. We reverse those digits, then we got 92. This is a blowout Tiger victory.
Just as it should be.
Turnover for USN. Coming the other way, Smith, he crosses over and hits from the elbow. Timeout, Goodpasture.
And a player who hasn't been playing that amazing as of late, Russell Westbrook, has a jump shot very similar to PJ Smith on Goodpasture. That sort of quick pull-up elbow shot, the Kobe kill spot, if you will, and it's been said that Russell actually modeled his game after Smith's ability to knock that shot down.
That was a beautiful shot that he just nailed right there. We come back the other way now. Still a 36-point game. We're at 4:55 now and counting. Left in the fourth quarter. Adam Miller attacks the goal, but he's fouled first. Fouls on Henderson, his first. Team's sixth. Here's Russ now. Back to Adrian. Ooh, I thought he might have traveled. Got it to Graham. Graham nearly threw it away, and in fact he did. So here comes Goodpasture with Woosley. He's got it to Tanner Jones now as Goodpasture goes deep into the bench. The Jones brothers exchange passes around the perimeter. Attacking the goal is Woosley, and he scores. Make it 64-26 in favor of the Cougars. A couple of the Tigers' younger players head to the scorer's table and prepare to check in. Pass deflected. It's a steal. They get it forward to Carter. He lays it in. The Cougar lead is now 30 points. And the rout is on. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in this one. Get it over to Russ. Russ working one-on-one, and he is fouled. Fouls on Jones.
And one of the rule changes implemented, or talked about being implemented by the national media, is the final 4-minute run to 7 rule that is used in the tournament and other small-time tournaments around the country, where once the clock hits 4 minutes, the teams then play to the score that is 7 points more than the leading team's current score, which in this case would find USN and Goodpasture playing towards 73. That is the only way I see the Tigers pulling this one out.
How do you feel about the old next basket wins?
It's a fair argument, I'd say, and there would definitely be games in which I would call for it to be implemented, and this seems to be one of them. However, in a system similar to NFL overtime, the defending team might not even get a chance to have the ball. And I think more of a college overtime type situation would be more effective in today's basketball landscape.
For three. Oh, just off the mark. Great hustle by Powers to save it. Threw it off Jones. And the Tigers keep it. Clock running with 2 minutes. It's 68-28, Cougars in front. Powers to throw it in. Looking for help. Lobs it to Spessard. He has it. Saves it. Ooh, it was out of bounds. Cougars have it back.
And one point on the other side of the court, it's a little confusing to me why Coach Jones has chosen to keep superstar Jacob Green out of the lineup for so long. Only now seeing some minutes on the floor. Maybe he's been tampered with an ankle injury or some sort of reason that he has not been in the game tonight.
Coach knows that we need a spark here, down by 43, and now it's the right time to get that spark from young Jacob Green.
Completely agree. Go on a run and you're right back in this game.
Jacob Green led a huge comeback against Mount Juliet Christian in a JV game 2 years ago that none of us could ever forget. And he's looking to put the Tigers on his back here in an effort to bring us back into this one. Under 1 minute now. Jacob is at the foul line where he will shoot 2. The first free throw is good. 71-29 the score as Goodpasture continues to cling to a 42-point lead. There is a lane violation on the second free throw.
Well, Dr. Fitz, in a game of multiple lead changes, a true hot contest if I've ever seen one, I think I can officially say that this is the hammer nail coffin. This baby is over. Now and only now.
Standing at the line for Goodpasture is Henderson. His first free throw is good.
And you just have to ask the question, Goodpasture misses just 1 or 2 of their opening threes in the first quarter. Is this game closer heading into halftime? Does that give the Tigers a little bit of momentum?
They would have fewer points, so it would probably be closer. Jacob Green with a step back. Oh, I thought he was going to let it fly. His pass to Max Elliott, nearly thrown away, but Jacob has it back now, trying to fight his way through. Colin Fritz, threw it out of bounds. And Goodpasture has it. The clock is running with 5 seconds. And I think we've seen the last action that we'll see tonight. The whistle blows and the ball game is over. Your final score from Sperling Gymnasium, Goodpasture 72, USN 29. Tough loss for the Tigers, Shy. Your final thoughts?
For sure. The Tigers 0-2 on the court, but 2-0 in our hearts. They fought hard. Games seemed close at times, not so close at others. They'll definitely use this as a learning experience, win or learn. The Tigers are going to be back out there next game, grinding hard, hoping for a win.
Let the folks at home know when they can join us next for a basketball game.
Next home game is December 10th. Broadcast coming to you live from here in the Sperling Gymnasium. We hope to catch you on the broadcast there.
Thank you very much, Shy. So with that, I think we'll sign it off. Great to have been with you. For my man Shy Rice and the great cameraman Seth Ellis, it's been a pleasure to be with you, and we'll see you for Tuesday's games on the 10th. See you then.